Hi YouTube, I thought I'd just show you what I've done in the last 60 days. So as you can see here, I've done $6,200 roughly in the last 60 days on one TikTok channel. This took me around 90 minutes per day of pretty simple work, and all it took was a basic editing software and a computer. That was literally it. And within those 60 days, I managed to earn more than entry-level doctors, lawyers, and the average UK salary at the age of 19. So how did I do that? This was the type of content that I was making for TikTok.
If you got one of those races, so there's Jeremy in the boat, James in a car, Rich on his bicycle.
So all it is a podcast with B-roll layered over the top with captions. You know, that's not hard work. In fact, it's very easy work. Just change it back to 60 days. And I'll also change the currency, so that you know I'm not giving you the BS bullshit. There we go. Before I go into detail discussing how I did it, I'd just like to run through how I actually landed on this idea. Because one of the biggest problems I had when I first started was, what content should I make? And this was such a difficult question that had no answer. You know, I'd be searching YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, whatever. I'd be searching and no one would give me a solid answer to this question. The answers that I did find were very vague. It was like, oh, scroll the For You page. Well, I just ended up getting distracted. So instead, I would tell you what my thought process was. So it started with me just bouncing from niche to niche. And I remember finishing on Reddit stories, you know, the Minecraft gameplay with the story and the shitty voiceover. That wasn't working. And I tried that for several months. I was pretty consistent and didn't get any results. So I thought, okay, let's look at my strengths for once. What are my interests? So I wrote them down on a piece of paper and I wrote down Top Gear. And I thought, well, what can I pursue this strength any further? I decided to just start just straight ripping from the show because I just didn't have I didn't know what else to produce at the time. So as you can see here, I would just upload straight from the show. And it kind of worked, you know, 6K, 2K, 4K, 7K. And then I was scrolling YouTube one day and I stumbled across a sort of interview type video. So I thought, well, what if I clip it up and upload that? Because I'd seen other people uploading podcast clips. So I thought, well, let's give this a go. And as you can see, it did very well, 178K views. So that told me that there was something there. So then later on, I decided to fully focus on the podcast clipping and, you know, it's done very well since. I'd just also like to mention that this account was monetized before the 60-day period. Because I knew the show very well, I knew what people wanted to see, which made searching through the podcasts very easy. So I'd be able to go through the podcast and find a moment and say, yeah, this is something that people want to see. And also at the time, there wasn't many people doing Top Gear podcast clipping. So I think in there is a key lesson for you if you're struggling to find a niche. You know, write down your interests and just figure out what type of content you can make and then just experiment. The best thing you can do is just upload, post and see what works onto the video production process. So what I used to do was I download the full podcast. So here's one example here. I download this podcast and I use Premiere Pro. So I drag and drop the video in. And in Premiere Pro, there's a really good feature and it's the transcript tool. This is ideal for finding the moments in the podcast. So I'd find the moment, which is
the announcement was made at, I don't know, 10 o'clock that next morning, 10:30.
So what I'd do then is I'd cut the start.
The announcement was made at...
So then I'd watch through it and then I'd find a good place to cut off. Now with TikTok, the videos have to be a minute long to be monetized. So I'll try and get the clips to be a minute long. I can also read through the transcript, which makes things a lot quicker rather than just watching through to find the ending. So what I do there then is create a sequence, nested sequence. So I have this plugin called Firecut, which is great for captions. So I transcribe it and just let it spit out the captions for me. So if I just go back onto my account just to show you what I was actually posting,
if we got into trouble and we were in the papers, it was kind of
So that's all I'd post. And you can check it out for yourself. The channel is there. You know, go have a look, check it out, see what I've been posting. So before we wrap up, I thought I'd just say that I'm actually starting a community today where I'm going to help you guys get to my stage in my journey. Now, I'm obviously not at the stage where I'm making millions of dollars a month. I'd like to be, but I'm not there yet. It took me almost 4 years to get to where I am now. But with my help, I reckon I can get you to my stage far quicker. But you have to be willing to put in the effort. I have earned money in the past, but this has been my best 60 days that I've ever had in terms of revenue.